make the time for us. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has apologized to President William Ruto, Parliament and to Kenyans, asking them to forgive him for the wrongs he may have committed while executing his duties. The Deputy President, who held a prayer service at his official residence in Karen, Nairobi, also asked Kenyans to remain united and peaceful as Parliament considers the impeachment proceedings that is against him.
With barely 2 days before the National Assembly considers the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the second in command sought divine intervention at the National Prayer Altar in his official residence in Karen, Nairobi. And in an unprecedented move, the Deputy President tendered his apology to President William Ruto, Parliament and to Kenyans for whatever wrongs he or his family may have committed against them.
I want to say to my brother President William Ruto, if in our zeal to work I have wronged you, please find it in your heart to forgive me. If my spouse, in our duties for the boy child and our program, has wronged you in any way, find it in your heart to forgive her. To our members of Parliament, if in the course of duty, through our utterances and actions, we have in one way or another upset you, all wronged you, find it in your heart to forgive me.
Gachagua asked Kenyans to remain united and peaceful as Parliament considers his impeachment starting Tuesday.
I want to call upon the people of Kenya to remain peaceful, to love one another. And despite all these happenings, irrespective of the outcome, the people of Kenya must remain peaceful and united and love one another. Specifically, I want to appeal to our brothers and sisters in the Rift Valley, where there are many communities who live there, to leave this contest to lead us.
Asserting that Kenya is founded on the rule of law, Gachagua expressed faith in the judiciary, promoting and protecting the Constitution and the will of the people.
I have faith in our courts of law. We have competent men and women in our judiciary who I believe will uphold the Constitution, protect it with their zeal, and always uphold and protect the will of the Kenyan people.
The Deputy President will be granted 2 hours in the National Assembly's plenary on Tuesday to defend himself against the impeachment motion.
And Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's apology to the President has been welcomed by political and religious leaders from across the country. They noted that the differences between the two leaders had politically polarized the country, culminating in an impeachment motion against the DP. The apology, they said, is a good step towards uniting the country. Now, politicians were, however, cautioned against using the motion to promote divisive politics.
Kwa hivyo ombi ni kwamba tukiwa kama viongozi wa kidini, tukiwa kama viongozi ambao wanaangalia pia maslahi ya wananchi, tukiwa wananchi wazalendo, ni kuwa siasa za kugawanya wananchi zisiweko kwa sasa, bali maendeleo ndio tunahitaji kwa sasa.
Wewe ni chairman, unachea hiyo mikakati kwa cabinet. Alafu kule nje unaenda unapinga serikali, tena unapiga vita. Rais William Samoei Ruto na aongoze taifa letu la Kenya na alete jamii zote kutoka kwa milima, kutoka Nyanza, kutoka Western, Rift Valley, Coast mpaka kule Eastern na Northeastern. waende pamoja ili tukue na amani Kenya.
Watengeneze, wasuluhishe ili tuwe na amani, kwa sababu unajua wanapoendelea kudumbana maendeleo hayapo. Sasa wanachukua muda mwingi kudumbana. Hata public participation hii ambayo yaambiwa kwamba kuna public participation, watu wanaulizwa maswali, hata wale wanaoulizwa maswali hawajahamasishwa.
That is what we want. That is what we want. That is what we have been praying for, that they may pray, that they may beg for forgiveness. The spiritual fathers in our society, in our country, who can reconcile you so that our country can be able to go forward. Waambie ni vizuri kuforgive, kwa sababu kama forgiveness, he has sought for forgiveness, they also need to forgive him and let the country, kwa sababu hatutaki buge itushike mahali ambaye Kenya yetu itakaa in stagnation, which is not good.
Let's head to Matters Health, where over 12 million Kenyans have been registered in the new Social Health Authority, including verified members who were under the defunct National Health Insurance Fund, that is NHIF. The authority's chairperson, Abdi Mohammed, says a joint committee chaired by Medical Services, that is Principal Secretary Harry Kimutai, has been formed to verify the providers, that is the pending bills for the providers under the defunct NHIF.
The government says the shift from NHIF to the Social Health Authority is gaining momentum. The authority on Sunday gave a status update a week after the big rollout.
A total of 12,704,548 members into the Social Health Authority. All registered SHA beneficiaries are entitled to free access to primary health care services under the Primary Health Care Fund at level 2 dispensaries, 3 health centers, and select level 4 health facilities. With regard to private and faith-based health facilities, a total of 1,442 health facilities have since returned duly signed contracts.
Abdi Mohammed says those who parted with cash to receive treatment will be compensated after verification.
An example was Amze, who actually cried on the TV. We are refunding the 9,500 that was paid by him to the facility.
All patients who have paid out of pocket reach out to us, and we will do the same for them. All the patients who have paid out of pocket.
Monday's rollout was characterized by various hiccups, among them system challenges, which led to frustration, especially for those who required routine medical assistance.
All our branches and the regional managers and all our staffs, the SHA staff across, have been deployed to all the facilities to make sure that patients get seamless services across all the health facilities.
The team that runs SHA, led by Dr. Abdi here, can only spend 5% of the money we pay on themselves. The other 95 is meant to give us services, and that's a law.
The government says systems have been fixed to ensure seamless claim processing. A committee has also been formed to look into the pending bills incurred during the transition and those owed by the defunct National Health Insurance Fund.
Yusuf Farah reporting there. President William Ruto now says religious organizations will not be regulated in the country. Speaking when he attended a church service at AIC Milimani, the head of state poured cold water on a proposed religious organizations regulation bill that is currently before the Senate, saying the freedom of worship is guaranteed in the Constitution. The president's remarks come in the wake of increased uproar among clerics rejecting the proposed legislation on regulation of churches.
When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground.
President William Ruto attended a church service at AIC Milimani in Nairobi, where he assured the men of cloth that the state will not interfere with the freedom of worship.
I know that there are proposals that have been made in some quarters about regulation of the church, regulation of worship, regulation of religious activities. I want to remind those who are pursuing that kind of exercise that the Constitution of Kenya is very explicit on the freedom of worship.
The president dismissed the religious organization bill sponsored by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana that seeks to regulate religious organizations. The president observed that the faith community will decide on how they want the freedom of worship to be conducted and self-regulate the activities.
Kenya shall continue to be a God-fearing nation, and we will defend the freedom of worship in our republic. We will make sure that we don't compromise, and there will be no limitations or compromise on the freedom of worship in Kenya.
The bill, which seeks to introduce taxes on income, gifts or profits generated from the church, has been termed punitive and lacking stakeholder consultation by the clergy. The bill also proposes a fine of 5 million shillings or 3 years in jail or both for any religious leader who operates an unregistered organization.
Now, I want to ask those who have ideas to allow religious leaders themselves to develop how they want to regulate themselves and how the church, how religious organizations are going to go forward. Because that was the recommendation of the task force I appointed under Reverend Taba Mushimi, that the religious body in Kenya will decide how they want to make sure that the freedom of worship in Kenya is protected.
The president, however, assured faithfuls his government will never put limitations on the freedom of worship.
Moving on, an infant is receiving treatment at the Coast General Hospital following Sunday morning bus accident at the Likoni Ferry crossing channel. Another person was treated and discharged from the hospital after 7 out of the 9 people injured during the accident were attended to at the scene of the accident. Kenya Maritime Authority Acting Director General, that is Julius Koech, has assured ferry users that the ferries are safe and that the morning incident was just an accident. Tilio Marco reports.
This is the ill-fated pattern on Sunday morning at the Likoni Ferry crossing channel and injured 9 people, among them this infant, who is still receiving treatment at the Coast General Hospital. Eyewitnesses say the accident occurred after the bus, which was coming from Machakos, was obstructed by a handcart fully loaded with the market produce.
Gari liko natoka Matu to Ukunda. So imevuka ferry, gari zinatoka kwa ferry, mkokoteni liko mbele na magari zingine ndogo ndogo sio ziko kwa mlima. Mbele gari hazisongi, gari yetu kwa mlima kurudi chini kwa ferry. Safu kulikuwa na mvua, ile gari iliteleza.
Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir noted that talks are ongoing with the Ministry of Roads and Transport for the ferries to strictly serve passengers on foot and vehicles to use the Dongo Kundu bypass to curb such accidents.
We have already made that position, but we will need to be able to do that also in consultation with the other stakeholders like the Kenya Ports Authority who are running the ferry.
Meanwhile, Kenya Maritime Authority Acting Director General Julius Koech assured ferry users that the ferries are safe and that the morning incident was just an accident.
We have been working in very close collaboration with Kenya Ports Authority to ensure that the standards are being met, that all deficiencies after inspections are being closed, and the operations of the ferries are safe.
Tana River County leaders are calling on communities to stop turning on each other after ethnic clashes broke out in Bengali, leaving 8 people dead. Led by Principal Secretary for Cabinet Affairs Idris Dokota and former Tana River Governor, that is Hussein Dado, the leaders said it was wrong for communities that have coexisted peacefully all along to kill each other.
Negative ethnicity has left a trail of death and agony in parts of Tana River County. Tension remains high in the region even as leaders appeal for calm.
Wa hapa Tana River, jamii mbili zinazozana saa hii. Tafadhali msimamishe hiyo maneno Katika dini yetu manake
emphasize the need for communities to coexist peacefully with each other for positive development.
Katika zile tarbia za muumini niwe ni mtu mwenye kupenda amani. Kwa hivyo jamii zetu za Tana River tunazihusia kwamba tukae kwa upendo na sote ni ndugu.
Speaking during Maulid celebration, the leaders highlighted the plans of the government to ensure peace and tranquility across the nation.
Tuombeni nchi yetu, kuna matatizo kidogo, ili Mwenyezi Mungu asaidie viongozi wetu, amsaidie rais wetu ili nchi itulie.
Tension remains high in Bangale sub-county Tana River County following the death of 8 people Friday evening over inter-community clashes.
Risasi ya kwanza imempata huyu ndugu yangu mkono, ikamwangusha. Nikimwendea karibu yake ndo zinamiminwa kwetu.
The clashes, which happened separately at KBC grounds, Charidende, Nanigi and Anole in Bangale, also left at least 20 houses torched in Bulavago and KBC grounds. County Police Commander William Sadiq confirmed the incident, saying they have begun a disarmament exercise in the area.
Let's look at counties now, where students pursuing engineering at the Chemasire Technical Training Institute in Busia County have benefited from donation of equipment from the Ministry of Education. Details of this and more in our continuous roundup.
Speaking at the institution after receiving the equipment, Teso North Member of Parliament Oku Kaunya applauded the move as a major milestone in achieving skilled labor in line with Vision 2030.
This equipment, the students around will be more empowered to be able to work for Kenya.
University and college student leaders have launched a civic education initiative aimed at educating their peers on key issues affecting them. This is after realizing a huge knowledge gap among the youth on issues such as the Social Health Insurance Fund and the university funding model.
We are doing civic education, ndio maana tuweze kuweka mambo ziwe rahisi. Vile zinafanyika pale ndani, maana yake si kila mtu ako na nafasi ya kupata ile ujumbe ambao inafanyika pale.
Elsewhere, a family in Magarini, Kilifi County is seeking legal justice for their 11-year-old daughter who was allegedly defiled a year ago by a man who is well known in the community. Despite reporting to the authorities, no action has been taken against the suspect, who is said to be the chief's nephew.
Tangu tarehe 5 mwaka jana Disemba, sijiona mwongozo wowote paka hivi. Sijui kama serikali inafanya nini.
Lakini naomba serikali kama inaweza kunisaidia huyu jamaa awe atashikwa.
Huyu kijana hajawahi kushikwa kwa sababu assistant chief ni babake, ni kama ni babake mkubwa.
Finally, leaders from Igembe North in Meru County, led by former Igembe North Member of Parliament Mauka Maore, have joined the residents of Igembe in agitating for an end to the senseless killings carried out by bandits in the region. 2 national police reservists and 1 herder were killed in the latest incident.
Tunataka hiyo mahali wanatokea kuwe na patrol. Kuwe na nini? Hii patrol najua haiwezi kufanyika ovyo. Tunataka serikali ipangwe vizuri. Maneno ya operation kufunga hii mahali wanapitia.
Kwa hivyo kile tunawaomba kwa heshima, mtushike mkono, mtupe taarifa na tutatembea pamoja na nyinyi.
Let's look at sports now, where the Kenya Under-20 soccer team Rising Stars began their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations CECAFA qualifiers on a winning note after beating host Tanzania 2-0 at the KMC Stadium.
The Salim Babu Chargers took an early lead in the 23rd minute through Kevin Wanganya. Andres Odhiambo extended Kenya's lead in the 65th minute, while Shumari Mukinyangi pulled one back for the hosts 11 minutes later. Kenya's second fixture is scheduled for Thursday, where they will take on Rwanda before facing Djibouti on Sunday, then wrap up their group stage matches with a crucial encounter against Sudan on October 15. Kenya is drawn in Group A alongside Tanzania, Sudan, Rwanda and Djibouti.
Well, Vincent Lagat and Sheila Chelagat are the winners of the 10-kilometer Betika Kericho cross-country Langat crossed the finish line in 30 minutes and 4 seconds to win the men's race, while 27-year-old Chelangat clocked 33 minutes and 18 seconds to win the women's race. The winners walked away with 150,000 shillings for their performances. In the masters category, Francis Bowen completed 4-kilometer race in 12 minutes 55 seconds, while in the women's category, Joyce Kirui crossed the finish line in 8 minutes. Now, the senior runners received 30,000 shillings for their remarkable efforts. The Kericho cross-country attracted over 800 amateur and professional athletes from across the country.